Hello everyone and welcome to zegamingclub. In today's video I will do a guide about Warpath Buildings. What are these buildings, what's their functionality, and I will give some recommendations about which order it's best to upgrade them. Let's get into it. For those who don't like video guides, there is a written one on zegamingclub website, and I'll be using it in my video on the left side to talk about the priority and some requirements about each building in this video. Overall, there are 5 types of buildings, and I'm gonna start with those that allow your base and your strength to grow. These are engineering center and research center. I consider these buildings to be equally important, and I classify them as a tier 1 priority while doing upgrades for one simple reason. Warpath is not a short-term game, it's more like a marathon, and having these 2 buildings that produce the resources and allow you to research technologies, so having these buildings upgraded to the highest level possible will allow you to grow steadily and to research technologies faster than your opponents, and especially for those who are free to play and they don't have a lot of resources to upgrade all the buildings at once. I strongly recommend to start with these 2 first. So we're gonna look at engineering headquarters. This building has 2 main functions. The first one is the production of different components like wood planks, bricks, cement, I-beams, asphalt and concrete. Each of these components are unlocked eventually once you upgrade the building. So you start with wood planks and bricks, I think, and then as you progress the building you have access to more components that you can produce. Now when you upgrade the building you also open access to more workshop queues. That's why I think it's important to upgrade this building first, because the more components you produce during the day, the more buildings you will be able to upgrade in the long term. Now, how do you check what kind of components are unlocked at which level? You need to tap on the upgrade button, and then there is a little eye icon here. And if you scroll to the top, you can see what kind of components you can produce and at which level the new ones are unlocked. At the same time, you are having a production queue increase at level 7, and the amount of components that you can produce per 1 queue is also increased as the building level goes up. Starting from the building level 27, you have access producing concrete, and all the levels in between the components is just the matter of producing this particular component a little bit faster and having more items in your queue. Now, going back to the components production, I think all the buttons are pretty much self-explanatory here. So you have a queue where you add what you would like to produce. You can clear this queue and add some other components, tapping produce button. If you are VIP level 12, then you can use one button tap to fill the whole queue, and unfortunately it's not available earlier. And of course you can rush the production to make these components faster. Next feature of engineering HQ is disassemble one, and there are 3 types of materials or things that you can disassemble. First of all, every single 3-star unit that you got dropped can be disassembled into unit components, and there is nothing to hesitate about it. As soon as you get one, just select all of them and tap disassemble button, because there is no other use of 3-star units than just disassembling them into unit components. The second tab here is the unit restoration. The way it works is that if you choose any unit, it has to be not a deployed one. So you need to remove it from your army first, like this. And then if you go back to the engineering HQ, you can perform a unit restoration. What it does, for 20 gold, you can revert the unit back to its original state, which means it takes all the experience or ammunition that you invested in this unit, and it removes all the parts from it, resetting the level to 1. And then you can use it to upgrade any other unit that you like. Why it's needed? For example, if you would like to switch your fighting style from for example, a siege one where you need a lot of artillery into the open field one where you just need some tanks and you want to pump all your resources in one unit. That's where you do it. I will go in details about different roles on the battlefield in another video. So for now, just know that if you want to restore the unit, it's done here. You got all the materials back in its original quantity, and apart of 20 gold spent, you don't lose anything else. Now the third tab in the engineering HQ is the parts disassemble. And that's where you can get the parts that you get as campaign rewards or from any other sources. Unfortunately, didn't get any parts dropped. So here again, you can disassemble any parts that are in your backpack. Please note that while you disassemble part, all the materials are retained in its original quantity again, but you lose the part blueprint. And you cannot restore it back unless you obtain another one. Please be careful when you disassemble silver plus or gold and gold plus parts because these blueprints are currently difficult to get. Everything that below that you can freely disassemble, and don't worry because that's actually how you farm the materials needed for better parts. Next building I'm gonna talk about is the research center or Combat R&D HQ. So what is the purpose of this building? The main purpose is to research different technologies, but before we go there, I just would like to explain what upgrading of this building does. First of all, every next level increases the research speed by a certain percent, and also on certain levels you can increase the max unit level. For example, if you upgrade the research center to level 8, that will allow you to upgrade units past level 40. Then if you upgrade it to level 16, it will go past level 60. Then at level 21 you will have access to units past level 80. At level 26 you will have access to units past level 120. And finally on level 32 will allow you to get your units to level 200. In between you also have some nice bonuses like additional collection convoy that you can send outside for resources. And you get one more on level 18 and 22. Now let's talk about the main purpose of the research center, and it's of course researching different technologies. They are currently split into 5 branches with 4 available at the moment of this video, and it starts with the industry branch where you can research different technologies to grow your base and improve your collection efficiency and stuff like that. I will not go into details about every technology because again I will do a separate video for that, but just be aware that this is the place where you research all these technologies. And of course, the amount of research queues that you have, they actually depend on your subscription services. So by default, you have only 1 queue to research, but if you purchase the arms deal, then you will have a plus additional research queue. And if you purchase power play, that's plus 1 queue on top of that. But these two can be purchased separately or together. Doesn't matter, they each grant 1 research queue on its own. So right now I have 2 because I have the arms deal package. And the last but not least function of the research center is to assemble units. Quite opposite to the engineering center, assembling units is a little bit more tricky. Again, I will not go into details about which units are best to assemble and how exactly it's done. In this video I will do a separate one. Moving on to the next group of buildings, which I classify as a tier 2 priority, and I recommend to upgrade them as soon as you have maxed out your research and engineering center. The first building in this list is the command center. Command center plays the crucial role on the battlefield because the level of the command center is directly connected to its power and durability. So not only you are getting more airdrops with each level upgrade, as you can see the durability is increasing a lot, and it's especially important past level 27 because since that milestone the durability is basically growing 500,000 on each next level. And at the same time the firepower or the damage caused by a command center alone is also increased significantly. So if you'd like your base to survive some lone fights or being able to defend territory, That's the building you prioritize upgrading, but again, for free-to-plays, I recommend starting with engineering and the research center before you upgrade the command center, because long-term you will benefit more from those two buildings than having high level of the command center. Of course, if you prefer to fight more and you don't mind spending some money in the game, then command center is the way you have to get an advantage over the other enemies on the battlefield. What other functions command center does? The airdrop, it's some freebies from the allies that drop from the plane several times per day, and you need to tap every time to get 3 boxes which might contain resources. They may contain unit parts, they may contain even units or some gold, so make sure that you don't miss to pick this up daily. Then you can use some emoticons to quickly tell your allies something that I don't know, you want to tell them, like danger incoming or stuff like that. Garrison is used to put all your units or certain units to defend the command center when it's being attacked, and you can do that by just selecting one unit or selecting all of them. And this is quite important feature of this game because the units that are not garrisoned, they are an easy prey for the enemy. So make sure that when you log off the game for more than I don't know, 20 minutes, you always garrison your units and don't let enemy pick them off easily. And the last but not least function of the command center is the relocate. When you tap that, the command center will transform in a truck, and then you can change its location and build a base elsewhere. So this is an addition to the airlift function, which transfers your air base immediately. The relocate function can be used to move your base in short distances, or for example when you are out of the airlifts. So make sure that you don't mix those two, because airlifts amount, even though it's written that you have just 4, this is not for free. This is just your daily limit. So per 24 hours you can have 4 airlifts. I think it's 3 by default, but VIP level at some point gives you 1 more airlift. So in order to perform an airlift, you need to have special instructions, which are called transfer instructions, that you can see on the screen. And that's the moment where a lot of players are confused. So airlift is to relocate your base immediately using 1 transfer instructions, and you can perform up to 3 by default airlifts per day. And relocate is when you convert your base into a truck and you can travel anywhere that you like, but it's quite slow. Next building I would like to cover in this video is Barracks, and I classify Barracks as tier 2 priority buildings. So after you have engineering center, research center and headquarters upgraded, you go and upgrade Barracks. They don't have any other functionality, so upgrading the Barracks will give you the following benefits. First of all, you need to pay attention to barracks capacity, because at certain levels the capacity is increased, which means in this particular barrack building you can employ more units, and the total power of the group residing in this barracks will be increased. What else brings the barracks level upgrading? It's the training speed, which will decrease the higher you get to this building, and that will allow you to train units faster. Also, barracks contribute to the total troop capacity, which means when you lose a unit, you can have a new one recruited, but you need to make sure that you have available troop capacity. And once you put the unit back garrisoned and it's damaged, the higher barracks level will also increase the recovery rate of this particular unit. So as you can see, the capacity is the most important thing, and it's increased on barracks level 4, then 8, then 13, then 20, and then level 27. So after that, the capacity is not increased, and the recommended strategy for upgrading your barracks is that you have 1 main unit that you use either as a damage sponge, or you have 1 unit that is the damage dealing, and you put this unit in your highest level barracks. For example, you have 5 barracks, and all of them are level 13. So what you do in this case, you take one barrack and you upgrade it all the way up to level 20, and that's where you keep your strongest unit. And then you choose second barrack and you then upgrade it to level 20, and then you proceed to the next, so that you don't rush to upgrade all of them at the same time to highest level possible, but focus one only, and once you finished the milestone, whether it's level 13, 20 or 27, you go to the next barrack and repeat. And the last building that I would like to cover in this video, unfortunately it's not used much, but it's gonna change once Warpath has an Air Force upgrade, I hope so. This is the airport. Right now airport has only function of using the scout planes to open fog in the cities of any level. So you start in city 1, which is covered with fog, and you scout with your planes. When you have barrack at level 1 up to level 3, you can use only one scout plane. Starting from level 4, the number of planes is increased to 2, and then at level 13 the number of planes is increased to 3, and that's the maximum amount that you can have. So you can simply leave airport building level 13 and forget about it completely, or you can occasionally use it in showdown events or jurisdiction events where you need to score some additional points, and upgrading airport will give you necessary amount to achieve that red chest or to take some top places and get more rewards than usually. So that's what I did with my airport, and as you can see it's currently at level 25 because I was occasionally upgrading it just for obtaining those extra points. And then when the Air Force upgrade comes out, I hope we'll see more utilization of this building. So how the scouting works, depending on the airport level, you can have several planes, and then if you have fog in your city, you just send each plane to a particular fogged location, and once the plane scouts it, it goes back to the airport. And one more thing that airport level impacts is the sight radius of each plane and the speed, so how quickly the plane is discovering the fogged territory. So that's pretty much it. It can be handy if you move from city level 1 to level 2, or from level 2 to level 3 to quickly open the unknown territory and, let's say, figure out where the enemy alliances are. But other than that, there is not much use of the airport at this stage. What you can find on zegamingclub website is the upgrade requirements per each building. So when you go to the link in the video description and you tap on the power and benefits requirements, then you can see all the information here that you basically see from the game. So upgrade information, that's the benefits tab of this building. And if you tap on the upgrade requirements, it will tell you how much resources you need to upgrade the building at each particular level. And of course these pages are mobile friendly, so on your phone it will switch to horizontal scrolling mode, and it's quite easy to navigate, so that you know how many steel, oil, planks, bricks, whatever you need per each upgrade level. It's quite good to know because building upgrades after level 27 is quite expensive, especially if we are talking about headquarters. For example, mine is still at level 27 because for me it's quite difficult to farm 128, 153 and 102 million of each respective resource. So I'm delaying this upgrade while I'm prioritizing the engineering and the research centers. But as I said, you can have other priorities or you can have other preferences how you play this game. For me, it's important that this information is available on my website. It's accurate because I update it on regular basis, and it's available for free. And that's all that I wanted to cover today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be doing more Warpath videos soon. If you would like to support my content, you can find all the links in the video description. Thanks for watching again, and I wish you a nice day.